Call of Duty is one of the biggest franchises in gaming history. For years, it has dominated the FPS scene, setting records with every new release. But lately, there's been a shift in the community. Players are frustrated, interest is dropping, and many longtime fans are asking the same question: why are people getting tired of Call of Duty? Today, we're breaking it all down, from franchise fatigue, gameplay decisions, monetization, competition from other shooters, and whether Call of Duty can actually bounce back. Let's dive in. To really understand why people are tired of Call of Duty, we first need to remember why people loved it. Think back to the mid 2000s. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare completely changed the FPS landscape. It brought cinematic campaigns, addictive multiplayer progression, and maps people still talk about today. Then came Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, an absolute golden era. The formula was simple but brilliant. Tight gunplay, memorable maps, smooth movement, and a rewarding leveling system. Every year, players felt like they were getting something fresh while still holding on to that classic COD feel. For a while, it worked perfectly, but as the years went on, cracks started to show. One of the biggest reasons players are burning out is simple: too much Call of Duty. The franchise has stuck to an annual release cycle for nearly 2 decades. Every year, a new entry hits shelves. Sometimes it feels like the old one barely has time to breathe before the next is announced. This yearly grind has 2 major problems. 1. Quality suffers. Developers have less time to innovate and games start feeling rushed. 2. Players feel exhausted. Instead of building a long-term community on one game, everyone gets split up into the next release. Compare that to titles like CSGO or Fortnite, which build on one foundation for years, continuously updating and refining. COD's constant reset button makes it harder to sustain long-term loyalty. Another complaint we hear constantly is that Call of Duty feels repetitive. Yes, every game tries new mechanics, jetpacks, sliding, Warzone integration, but at the core, it's still the same formula. Fast-paced shooting, 3-lane maps, progression grind. For some, that's comforting. For others, it's stale. When you've played essentially the same game for over 15 years, the small changes don't feel like innovation anymore. Instead, they feel like recycled ideas. Players start asking, why am I buying the same game every year when I could just stick to Warzone or play something else entirely? Let's be honest. Another reason fans are frustrated is money. Back in the day, you bought the game once, maybe grabbed the DLC map pack, and you were set. Today, Call of Duty is filled with microtransactions, cosmetic bundles, and battle passes. The community often feels like Activision prioritized monetization over gameplay quality. Skins and bundles drop constantly, while bugs and balance issues sometimes linger for weeks. And while free-to-play Warzone brought millions of new players in, it also introduced aggressive monetization. For many, it feels less like a game and more like a cash machine. Another major factor: gameplay frustration. From skill-based matchmaking making lobbies sweaty, to inconsistent weapon balancing, to connection and server issues, players are tired of COD feeling like a constant battle off the battlefield. Many longtime fans also feel that COD has lost its arcade fun factor. Older titles were about jumping in, running and gunning, and having a good time. Newer titles often feel more punishing, more competitive, and less casual friendly. That shift in design philosophy leaves a big portion of the player base, casuals and veterans alike, feeling left out. Let's not forget, Call of Duty no longer owns the FPS market the way it used to. Games like Apex Legends, Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant, and even Escape from Tarkov have carved out loyal communities. These games often do things COD doesn't: better long term support, fresher mechanics, more engaging updates. And because many of them are free to play, players can easily switch if they get bored. COD is no longer the only option. It's one of the many, and if it doesn't keep up, people move on. Warzone deserves its own mention. When it first launched in 2020, it was a phenomenon. It felt like COD finally nailed Battle Royale. But over time, players grew frustrated with constant meta shifts, cheaters, bugs, and massive download sizes. Warzone fatigue set in, and for many, it became overwhelming to keep up. Combine that with the yearly mainland releases, and players started feeling stretched thin. So, is Call of Duty doomed? Not necessarily. Despite fatigue, COD is still a giant in the industry. Every release sells millions, and Warzone continues to attract huge numbers. The franchise has staying power. But for COD to regain the trust of its community, it needs to slow down, focus on quality, and truly innovate, not just recycle. Imagine if COD skipped yearly releases, supported one title for 3 to 4 years with meaningful updates, and prioritized balance over monetization. The potential is there. It just depends if Activision is willing to change. So, why are people getting tired of Call of Duty? It's a mix of overexposure, lack of innovation, aggressive monetization, gameplay frustrations, and stronger competition. But despite all the criticism, COD still has a massive place in gaming history. And if it can listen to its fans, it might not just survive, it could thrive again. But what do you think? Are you still playing COD, or have you moved on to other shooters? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be reading them all. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss future gaming discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. That's it. The other teammate left. Good stuff. Unfortunately, the other teammate left. We would have had back-to-back right there.